Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello friends, welcome to Engineering Work System and Ergonomic 2022 tutorial. Before going into the explanation of the tutorial material, it would be nice to pray first. Start praying. Finish. For the tutorial material this time, namely usability. And this is our outline material for today. There are 4 points: objective tutorial, input and output tutorial, material, and case study. Okay, first let's take a look at this GIF shown on the slide. Users find it difficult to use a device so that the goal is not achieved to be able to use the device. It is difficult to use, satisfaction decrease, disappointment that the product is abandoned by the company at a loss, whether a product, software, or website that is hard to use. So how to overcome this? To determine the quality of the product used, it is necessary to measure through usability tests. Okay, next let's enter our objective tutorial. The first one, student able to understand the concept of usability by identifying usability problems through W5-1H, which will be explained later. And then second one, student able to do usability tests and application in our case study tutorial report. The third one, student able to know the website or application's problem. It can be focused on product, software, or web usability. Limitation on this tutorial focus on website and application. And the last one, student able to analyze usability factors that influence usability level and recommendation. And these are our input and output for today. For the input, there are 3 points: scenario, usability attribute, demographic data. And for the output, we have analysis, recommendation based on the problem founded. And finally, let's begin with the definition of usability. As you can see on the slide, Nielsen defines that usability is a benchmark of quality that assesses and measures how easily the displays for users interface is used. Nielsen, 1994. Usability refers to the user experience when interacting with the product or system, including website, software, devices, or applications. So, from both meanings, it means that usability talks about the ease of using the product, while user experience is more about what the user feels. Because if the product is easy to use, it can improve the user experience of a product. Now, evaluation usability can be done by several methods. Usability evaluation is a process that involves users so they can learn and use product to achieve aspects of user comfort, such as effectiveness, efficiency, and user satisfaction for the system as a whole. There are 3 methods: inspection, testing, inquiry. Inspection means tests that involve more experts, while testing means evaluation based on the user experience. The key is in the experience performed. And for the inquiry, focus on information from users. It can be on interview, FGD, and etc. The one in this tutorial focus on the usability testing method. Alright, like I mentioned before, we will do or focusing on usability testing. While usability testing is one of the ways to evaluating a product or service which is tested to appropriate users. In this case, using W5 and 1H concept to find out the concept of usability starting from what. There are 3 usability attributes according to ISO, namely effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction. While effectiveness means how much a tool or product can help users in completing their task, while efficiency means resources expended in order to achieve the accuracy and completeness of the objective. And for the satisfaction, measurement the extent to which users are free from inconvenience and they are attributes toward the use of the product. But there is also a usability attribute according to Nielsen, namely learnability, efficiency, memorability, error, and satisfaction. Alright, that was what, and then we enter why. Why is usability testing should be done? Well, because when there is a difference between expectation, desired, and reality, what it is, it will cause a gap that makes a person feel frustrated and experience complaint. And that's why we have to know how to solve it and fill the gap into solution. That was why, and let's enter when. But when is the usability test can be done? When there is a problem actually. This can be done in a new design and redesign. While new design means against new design that have not involved many users, still in the internal stage. So the planning time is called before the design or before launching an interface. While redesign towards an old design that has involved many users. So the planning time is called after design or after he launch of an interface. Next up is who. Alright, first step, we have to determine respondent characteristic or user, which is to be studied according product that will be tested by its usability. It can be from gender, age, education, talent, skill, or experience. The second one is to determine usability experts and end users. In usability testing, they are evaluator or usability expert. It can be single or double. While single means already know which one are usable and which one are not, but not necessarily he often use the application or the product or not involved in the development process. While double means like a single but he is used to using an application or product and or involved in the development process. Or it can be called a combination of a usability expert in single category plus end users in the skill category. While participant or end user also divided into two, there are skill and novice. While skill means someone who often use a product so that he becomes proficient, but that doesn't mean he is an expert on usability. While novice means someone who has never used or rarely use a product. Now the third step, determine experience design. And this is only for end user. There are two kinds of experience, between subject design and within subject design. While the characteristic of between subject design or respondents are divided into several groups for each interface. The result of differences will be compared. Respondents or users cannot learn the advantages or disadvantages of each interface. While characteristics for within subject design are all respondent face or try with the entire interface. Result will be compared from each respondent. And the last one, respondent or user can learn the advantages and disadvantages of each interface. And if you're still confused with my explanation, let's go ahead to the next slide. And then in the next slide, we can see the animation showing the difference between subject design and within subject design. While the subject 1 get treatment A, subject 2 treatment A, subject 3 treatment B, subject 4 treatment B for between subject design. While within subject design treat subject 1 into both treatment A and B, and so on until subject 4. So the fourth subject will get both of the treatment so they can compare the result later. But at the end, which one is better? It all goes back to the evaluator. Which method of usability testing do you want to use? Alright guys, that was the explanation about who. Now let's get into our last W, which is where. Now let's enter our last W, where. There are real work and usability laboratory. What real work means in the original environment without any engineering intervention. In this case, it is adjusted to real condition and can find out the original response of the respondent directly on the person usually working. While usability laboratory is in a special place of testing that has been set up in such a way as to carry out the test. It has the advantages that is more conducive to usability testing but has the disadvantages of not knowing the real product quality condition during testing. And then the last one is how. And then how to process a usability testing. Well, Rubin and Chisnell said, first we have to develop a test plan. And then we continue prepare the environment, search and choose the participant, prepare test material, briefing participants, and then finally do a test session, analyze the data and observation, last report and give a recommendation result. Alright, let's continue to user performance test. Basically, in this slide is what you have to do later on. First, to test whether a user sample can be studied and used for several functions in a system and at a certain time, using multiple tasks, and respondents are at least 10 people. And for the efficiency, you will calculate the speed of the respondent in completing a task, the unit of measurement of efficiency in second. While when you do effectiveness measurement, calculates the number of errors made by respondents in one task. It can be slip or mistakes. The unit of measurement is the number of error. While slips, meaning unintentional error. For example, pressing the wrong icon because it is close together, and etc. And for mistake, meaning input errors because they are not aware or do not know that it is. If done, then there will be an error. Okay, in this slide you can see there are examples for slip and mistake. You guys can see there are wrong typing email address, wrong typing password, accidentally click on the adjustment link for slip, and for mistakes they are clicking on the header or link that cannot be clicked on, deliberately double click the link or button, and also type first and last name in the first column. So both are effectiveness attribute for knowing how much error that occur. Okay, this is an example of the tutorial. There are a man who asking about the product, is it already effective or efficient? First, find respondents who are appropriate with the product. Remember, goal or task-based scenarios describe only what the users want to do, not including information on how the user will resolve the scenario. Let the respondent find the goal. Effectiveness, how many mistakes in completing the task. Efficiency, measuring speed in carrying out certain tasks after learning the interface. Let's continue about the how. How is the usability of my product? Usability evaluation is divided into 3 types. Among the 3 types, they are further divided into several categories, one of which is remote usability testing. Remote usability testing is described as a usability evaluation in which the usability test examiner divides in place and or time for the test subject. Harton et al. 1996. So, remote usability testing is like the usability test that was exemplified earlier, but it's done remotely. Meanwhile, for the satisfaction using the inquiry method with a questionnaires category. Okay, last but not least, we will explain about Sas Questionnaire. As you guys can see on the slide, System Usability Scale or SAS is a questionnaire that can be used to measure computer system usability according to the user's subjective perspective, Brook 2013. And then you can see on the next slide, SAS questionnaire looks like this. They are code, questions, and scale 1 to 5. And then how to process the data questionnaire SAS. First, each item contribution score will range from 0 to 5. For items 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, the contribution score is position scale -1. When for the items 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, the contribution score is 5 minus the position of the scale, and the formula will be look like this. And after we got the score, and then we can see how good is our product. Is it acceptable? Is it marginal? Or is not acceptable? Well, alright guys, that's all I can say. Sorry if there is a mistake, and if there are still questions, they can be submitted on the day of the tutorial. See you on Usability Tutorial Day. That is all, and thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.